In the early 1950s, in response to a positive business climate, a merger, and improved focus on commercial lending, the board of the Irwin Union Bank and Trust voted to build a new space for the burgeoning bank. As the chairman of the board, J. Irwin Miller was given the lead on the initiative. He envisioned a space that welcomed his customers and employees, feeling no need to impress nor intimidate them with the new building. He invited his friend and renowned architect, Eero Saarinen, to Columbus to discuss the project. Irwin and Eero walked around Columbus to give Eero a feel for the city. They both desired a modern building, one that would redefine the traditional imposing bank structure. Eero spent hours asking Irwin about the functions of the bank. Irwin shared the scenarios of typical customers at the bank. He shared his dislike of closed signs at teller stations and other typical features that he felt rudely separated the banker from the public. They dissected every moment of the customer and employee experiences in order to create a building that would be inviting, intuitive, and highly functional. Kevin Roche, an architect who began working for Eero Saarinen in the early 1950s, recalls,
"Bank buildings at that time, and still, are fortresses. They're protecting money and all of that. Whereas I think Irwin was viewing it as a community facility which people would not be intimidated in any way to enter or use. So as a result of many, many conversations and many testing of little models and things like that, Eero decided to make this pavilion type building which would fill out pretty much most of the square.
And J. Irwin Miller's son, Will, comments about his dad.
He admired the pioneer spirit of America and his own ancestors, some of whom had come to this part of Indiana prior to it being a state. And so he really admired the pioneer spirit and cutting out on your own, facing the unknown, doing new things. But his way of expressing it was, we need to be pioneers in our own time the way our ancestors were in theirs. In a lot of different parts of his life, he was somebody who felt that change and improvement was something that should be embraced rather than feared. So you could see it in the technological strategies of Cummins, the development of the PT fuel system backing a number of different technological innovations. You could see it in architecture and design. You could see it in the social arena, where he was one of the first business leaders in Indiana to go after proportionate employment that reflected the demographics of the population. He was a civil rights leader. He helped organize the March on Washington. I mean, he was somebody who, in almost all aspects of his life, thought about how could we make this better, and what do we need to change to improve the situation.
Eero Saarinen believed that architecture is the sum of all things. He knew every aspect of the interior and exterior of the building affected users. He gathered a great team, not just architects from his staff, to work on the building design, but a comprehensive team from around the country worked on furniture, lighting, and landscape solutions. The collaboration of the entire design team resulted in a space that functions beautifully and cohesively. Various materials, designs, and proximities were tested to meet the unique desires of J. Irwin Miller and Eero Saarinen's vision. Paving tiles were used for flooring so that farmers and Cummins employees would feel welcome walking in with dirt or oil on their boots. Saarinen designed the teller stations with removable fiberglass sections that formed a continuous, clean aesthetic when a teller was not at their post. The president's office was placed on the main floor, enabling ready customer interaction. A drive-up teller window, one of the first in the country, offered the ultimate inconvenience. There is much proof that the strong design of the space created measurable results. Business at the bank increased as customers sought out and trusted a bank built on these customer-focused philosophies. Its innovative design and structure continues to inspire today.
I think in the simplicity of it, in its directness, and in the memory of how it started and the memory of Irwin Miller also. You know, that here was this extraordinary man who created this and whose aura must permeate the whole place all the time, I would think. So if you're at Cummins now and you're working there, I think you would always be conscious of the past history and the founders and the originators of the company.
Adaptive reuse of what ironically has become to be a historic piece of architecture, as it was designed nearly 60 years ago, is one of those wonderful opportunities in any kind of building that's reached that age and survived. What's great about the Irwin Center is that it survived largely intact. The reincorporation of the meeting rooms on the ground floor and their rearrangement as a conference center is really true to the original ideas behind the building itself. I think that's a good metaphor for the building going forward. It's adopting to a new set of uses that Cummins has for it, and it is both something that's useful today for Cummins, but also true to the spirit and the ideals of the people who created it in the first place.